video is my man dude, the Daydream Sound. He posted a video last night. Or I think it was like last night or yesterday, I should say. About and his title was "Should I Conform to Do the Norm?" And what he meant by that is, should he change his style of music to please the masses and what to gain more subscribers and to get more likes and things like that and things like that, and everybody can relate to that. And he's pretty much saying like how I'll just give you a little brief story. What he said, like he said back in 1996 he noticed that hip hop started sounding the same. He likes hip hop, but that's not really his steez, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't want to fall into that category, he doesn't want to be put in a box and things like that, and then things like that, and excuse me, and he starts saying like how he fell in love with trip hop because that kind of was more of his calling. It kind of fit his style. He started making more music that way. But when he was making that music in the beginning, I guess people weren't really, especially around Toronto, because that's where he's from, that people weren't really digging his music like that. Like he wasn't. I guess he didn't really get the response that he wanted at first. But over time, like he started getting more respect and things like that. And so I could kind of relate with that too. I could definitely relate to that, because, a lot of people say like, I should definitely get more views and things like that because of my content and things like that. And yeah, I do agree. But my thing is this, I'd rather do what I do, what I keep on doing, and just do me. Yeah, it's great to have a whole bunch of subscribers, but I'd rather have loyal subscribers and then that will ride with me to the end, you know what I mean? Like whereas like nowadays people today, you're hot one day and then you're whack, and then not whack but like you're not relevant, and then they just stop fucking with you, you know what I mean? And I find that a lot within hip hop. I'm pretty sure in other genres it's the same thing. And my thing is like, I just try to do me, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like with the reviews, like I have people telling yo, you should review the newest albums and stuff like that. Start reviewing these 90s stuff. But my thing is, the whole point of my channel is to review albums that don't get a lot of shine, that I never see people do full-length reviews or really talk about them. If they do talk about them, it's in magazines and stuff like that, which a lot of those magazines are obsolete unless you go to like those hip hop forums that do like the magazine scans and stuff like that. But like I said, a lot of people don't have time to do that, you know what I mean? And I try to be like, I try to do all the work for everybody and like just like do a lot of research and mix that up with some of the stuff that I know from listening to music from all these years, and just put on just give you guys what I think of what this album is about, and give you guys very descriptive reviews. And I know some people complain that I've had people tell me like my videos are long, but my thing is that I'd rather it be long and be descriptive so you guys get an idea of the album, because a lot of people, I've seen people, they'll post like video reviews, they'll put like, okay, this is this, that. You're not really enticing me. You're not really like selling me the album. Like, that's just my opinion. That's no shots to anybody that do that. But it's just like, for me, I'd rather it's my phone. Excuse me. I'd rather just do that. I'd rather be long and descriptive, so that way you guys could be trying to look for those albums, because a lot of CDs nowadays are going out of print. They are out of print. A lot of them are, like, not all, a lot, but like a lot of the early stuff, the early 90s stuff, a lot of 90s hip hop, like stuff like Vagina Diner by Akinelli, like the harder to find albums are going for a lot of money, and it is not fair for people that's actually interested in trying to look for those early albums, and they can't get to them because it's like, you got motherfuckers that want to sell the CD for like $1,000, and yeah, that's just not cool. I'm not with that. But I could easily review, like I said, the newer albums, like like Drake or Game's new album, the documentary and things like that. And but I'm very honest too. You know what I mean? And I notice people, they'll say, "Oh, you only like '90s hip hop." I like everything. You know what I mean? But like I said, I review albums that specifically hip hop that, like I said, that don't get a lot of shine. Like a lot of people, I've seen people review the typical classic albums like the Dr. Dre Chronic album, which I'm guilty of because I've done it. But it's not my first go-to album to review. Like I would review something like a Tragedy Gaddafi, like his first Intelligent Hoodlum. Like how often are you gonna see somebody review an album like that? Not very many. I'm sorry, you're not gonna find somebody like that. It's very rare that you'll find somebody like that. Or a review a Mike Geronimo album. You're not gonna really find that on YouTube. And because I tried looking for reviews like that, but I haven't really seen that. So I try to fill that void and try to give people that what people want. You know what I mean? But like I said, I could get more viewers, I could get more subscribers by reviewing the newest stuff, but that's not really my thing. And that's the same thing with Daydream Sound was saying. He'd rather just do him, what he feels comfortable doing and stuff like that. Just being yourself, don't conform to anybody. Yeah, it's not gonna be easy, you know what I mean? But just as long as you know who your real subscribers are, your real supporters, that's what matters. And even people in my own clique, not in my own clique, but people that I know personally, I don't even think they check my music, and that's fine. I could care less, honestly, because that's not really their thing. I would love, because you know me, then at least check my music. Oh, I like it, or oh, it's not really my style, but thanks for letting me check it out. Things like that. Yeah, it hurts at times, but you know what? Hey, it's not them. It's not for them. I don't try to please everybody, because that was my thing in the past. I try to please other people by like, I want you to review this album and right now, whatever. But I'm like, yo, I'll get to it when I get to it, and I'll say eventually, because I will get to those albums that some people want me to review. But I feel like there's other albums besides those albums that you want me to review to check out first, because there's so many other people on YouTube or even like on the internet that had reviewed those albums that you wanted me to review. But then I understand people like the way I describe my albums. Like I'm very descriptive, which hence the name why my videos are very long. And that's pretty much on the reviews and stuff like that. With the beats, the same thing. Like I love dark boom bap stuff. That's always been my forte. That's always been my thing. I've always liked boom bap. It was my favorite thing to do. But there was a time that I got bored doing that kind of style too. But my thing is, like, I like different kinds of music. So lately, what I've been trying to do was like trip hop, ambient stuff, like something like this, like kind of like instrumental, ambient type of stuff. But it's because I like to do that. I like that kind of music. I've always wanted to try to do that. That's the point. I'm not trying to be, follow the norm. Because I noticed that people, they go by trend now. Like everybody's trendy nowadays. Everything nowadays is very trendy. Like the whole '90s boom bap shit is trendy right now. And my thing is like, that's cool, but at the same time, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing, because when things get too trendy, it gets oversaturated and it gets played out, and you just don't want to do that. So you kind of want to try to do some other stuff, but you don't want to be like the next person and things like that. But then that's why, like, with me, I sample different genres, like, because when I first started, I was just doing jazz samples, and which is cool, but you only get stuck within, you get, I don't want to say put in a box, but it's like you're only known for just sampling jazz samples, and that gets boring after a while. Like that's why I sample like different stuff. Like I sample rock, jazz, R&B, soul records, soundtracks, easy listening stuff. Because a lot of people ask me, yo, where you get your samples? Yo, I honestly, like, I'll go to the dollar bin, and whatever catches my eye, that's what I pick up. And when I go dig, You know, I check for the years, the instruments, the producers, you know, things like that. And that's a little tip for my producers. I'm feels all my veterans know about that, but you know, that's something I had to learn over the years. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, that's pretty much what about that too. And you know, with the Sonic EPS 60 Plus is what I use to make my beats. The keyboard sampler was the one before the ASR 10. The reason why I bought it, I'm not gonna lie, I bought it because of Havoc. You know, because I love how the way the samples sound on the EPS 60 Plus. Same thing with RZA, True Master, and other LP. You know, other producers that use the EPS 16 Plus. Not to say that I was trying to bite Havoc, you know, because I'm pretty sure people think that yes, I'm influenced. I make Havoc's influenced beats, but I always felt like I have like my own twist, if that makes sense. And you know, I've had people tell me, yo, why don't you get an MPC? And my thing is because, like, again, the MPC is something that everybody has, you know. I could have, when I was in the market for looking for samplers, I mean, I had no money, but, you know, in 2008, I was looking for, like, you know, a beat machine, like a drum machine, whatever, a sampler. And at the time, you know, the hottest thing out, the newest thing out at that time was the MPC 5000 and the 2500. And I was actually looking at the 2500, but it was way too much money. It was like $1,700, and obviously I didn't have that kind of money on me. You know what I mean? Plus, I was unemployed. You know, the whole the whole recession that we had back in 07 through like 2009, 2010. So that was a bad 2 years for me. But yeah, man. But like I said, I bought it because of Havoc. You know, the producers, that one of my biggest influence. But I also like the sound that it produces, like the way it colors your samples. You know what I'm saying? It has like that really dark, dirty. I don't know. It's just weird. I mean, you can hear it in the background, the way it makes your samples sound, and that's what attracted me to it. And then it's also something that I know not a lot of people have, and I've noticed, like, you know, I post a lot of stuff on like my Instagram, like, you know, beat video, like little beat snippets that, you know, I post on Instagram, and I've had people tell me, like, yo, thank you, man, like, yo, because of you, I bought an EPS 60 Plus, and I'm honored by that. That really shows that I'm doing something right. You know, I've had people tell me, like, yo, they inspired me. They're inspired by me doing what I do, as far as like the beats and you know, things like that. And just like having an EPS 60 Plus, they wanted to get one, and I commend that. You know, I respect that. I mean, it means I'm doing something right. But the whole point of the video is just do you. Yeah, it would be nice to have a lot of subscribers, but I'd rather have a small fan base and that are supporters of me, that respect me for everything I do. You know what I mean? Yeah, I have constructive criticism, but, you know, that'll still be there, that really cares. Even if I have constructive criticism, that's cool. I'm all for that. But that shows that you're a real fan, and that goes a long way. And as of now, I have 1,936 subscribers, so I have about 64 subscribers left until I make the 2,000 mark, and I'm very happy about that. 2,000 subscribers, I mean, that's crazy, you know what I mean? So, but that's pretty much it that I wanted to talk about. You know, hope you guys enjoyed that. I know some of you guys can relate. Let me know what you guys think. Post your story of what you think, you know, like what you think of the video, or if you had faced similar not dilemmas, but different situations and stuff like that. That's pretty much it. Oh, by the way, you know, one more thing I want to speak on. I've noticed people, you know, like they'll ask me like not long questions, but they'll ask me for like my email, and I'm thinking, why would he ask for my email? And I've had one dude, I had a couple other people that would, like, you know, ask my email, and, you know, I would give my email. You know, I'm not thinking of anything, but never again would I do that. And it is because they want me to review their mixtape. And my thing is like, yo, like, to me, I don't know. This is very tacky. That's very tacky to do. I would rather you tell me like, yo, could you review my mixtape, or at least give it a check, give it a listen. And I'm all for that. Like, except that, don't take this the wrong way. I don't really like to review, independent, not independent, but like up and coming reviewers. I mean, artists. Only because of the fact that, like, if I do that, then I have to do it for everybody else, and that's not what my channel's about. My channel's about, albums that's been out, established artists, albums that never really got to shine and stuff like that. But what I could do is, like, you could give me the link, I'll listen to it, and I'll give you my 2 cents. I could do that. I'm all for that. You know what I mean? But, anything like that. But, that's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, hope you guys enjoyed that video. Like I said, let me know if you guys have faced certain situations, like similar situations as mine. And that's it. Peace.